Welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we interview the biggest and most successful real estate entrepreneurs, investors, and capital raisers in the world to provide you with the tool sets, the mindsets, and the skill sets to help you conquer yourself, your life, your marriage, and use real estate as your wealth creation vehicle so that you can live a more successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and contribution. If what you're after is having it all, if what you desire is becoming the best version you can be across all areas, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, sentimentally, and financially, you've come to the right place. We will bring to you the best of the best real estate entrepreneurs who will give you the insights, knowledge, experience, and skills so that you can go out and crush it financially and across all areas of your life. Grab pencil and paper, sit back, enjoy, and you are welcome to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. Hello, modern kings and queens. Welcome to another episode of the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast, where we interview the most successful real estate investors, entrepreneurs, capital raisers in the world to provide you with the tool sets, mindsets, and skill sets so that you can conquer yourself, your life, your marriage, and use real estate as your wealth creation vehicle to achieve financial freedom. I'm super excited today. I have an incredible guest with me today that has built an amazing real estate business and has an incredible career. But before I introduce this modern king to you, though, I just want to ask all of you for a favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, an insight, a mindset shift, if you're learning a new skill, if you get some motivation or maybe some inspiration to go out and take some action and keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode. Share it with some of your friends, share it with someone that you know this is going to impact. Share it on your Facebook wall, share it on your stories, share it and help us spread our message and help other people. And for all of you who share, thank you. Okay? And today I have Chris Deitz. Deitz? I'm Mexican, man, so Deitz, cool. Yeah, I sometimes have problems with names because, you know, my Mexican accent doesn't let me, but yeah, Chris Deitz. He's a veteran Las Vegas agent, worked with Mike Ferry, with the Mike Ferry Organization, got into operations, and when was the CEO of 5KW Marketcenters. I'm not sure what that is. He took a small office in REI, California, to the number 12 office company-wide in the whole country. And due to the uncertainty of traditional models in direction, he opened up a franchise brokerage of one of the most dynamic and competitive brokerages out there. And he has been 6 times Inc. 500 award winner. And you know he's bringing to the report card of a rock solid brokerage and elevating it with a new era of the resources needed to build agents for the future. So everything that has to do with real estate sales and agents and building teams and marketing, this guy is the guy that you want to be talking to and listening to, more importantly. So Chris, thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate you, and you are welcome to the show.
No, I appreciate you, man. This is great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invite.
So Chris, the first thing that I do with my guests, man, is I ask them to walk us through their real estate journey, real estate entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Oh, shit. All right. So the journey started with me playing softball in Las Vegas, and half of my softball team were real estate agents. And I was a guy who worked for a company that would sell exterior building products. Long story short, I hired somebody to pay attention to one of our national accounts who did roofing. And through conversation, he showed me a room full of blueprints that were approved by the city of new communities that were going to be developed in Las Vegas. I got the bright idea and said, hey, I got to tell my friends. They're all real estate agents. So someone's got to sell all these properties, right? So when I called them all, they said, hey, why don't you become a real estate agent? I said, no, I don't know anything about real estate. Not my gig.
Yeah.
And they kept peppering me with it. So finally I caved in and said, okay, well, you know, does it pay any money? I mean, what's it like? Because I was making some decent money with my last gimmick over there. And they said, oh yeah, you'll make a ton of money. You'll love it. I said, great. Is it easy? They said, oh man, so easy. Real estate's the easiest. I said, oh, okay, great. So obviously they lied to me, right? In Vegas, 18 days and you're licensed, right? So I started a program. 18 days later, I took my test, got licensed. quit my job cold turkey and started my career in real estate. Failed for 3 months miserably. Ranted on Instagram one day in one of my favorite restaurants that is a local joint in Las Vegas. And the owner saw me ranting and raving on my phone and goes, "What are you doing? You're yelling at your phone." And I said, "Well, I'm pissed off because I don't know what I'm doing. I've been in this thing for 3 months. I quit my job. I'm doing this now. I don't know what I'm doing." And he goes, "Oh, you're in real estate?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, my daughter's coming from Chicago. She's going to need a place. I'll hook you up right now." And he did. Got her on the phone. We connected. Went back on Instagram to erase what I had just put on there. And I had 7 comments from people in my little circle in Las Vegas. And out of the 7 comments, I put 5 in escrow. And literally that day changed my entire trajectory in real estate altogether. And as I started to learn the industry over the years and understood how difficult it was for the average person to make it as an entrepreneur, not so much as a real estate agent, I found a new path as to what I really wanted to do inside of this industry. And over the course of years and growing and growth, I'm here.
Cool. So, what was it that you were ranting about, man? Well, like that video, was it a
Oh
video?
my God, I was so pissed. I was telling the whoever was going to listen to this post how crappy of an agent I was, what a horrible decision I made to get into real estate. I couldn't even get someone to give me a wrong number. I mean, I was in a bad mood. I was failing miserably, running out of my savings from my last job. And so, the job and, my whole vision changed, but my spending didn't. So I'm just dropping money left and right the way that I'm used to. My lifestyle didn't
From your
change.
savings?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I wasn't working.
Because you like just quitted your job to cold turkey, right?
Cold turkey.
So you were living in your savings and you had to make it work. Okay, crazy. Okay,
Had
cool.
to make something work. So I got on Instagram, which Instagram was a lot different back then. It wasn't what it was today. Right. And so, I had 7 people in there, cousins, neighbors, a couple friends from softball telling me, "Hey, your next door neighbor's packing his shit right now. You need to call him." And so I did. And they said, "Yeah, we're thinking about moving. We're packing. We would love to have a conversation with you." And then the next one was my cousin's. And I didn't even know my cousin lived in Las Vegas. So I have a pretty big family. So, yeah, I mean, that one conversation changed everything. And ever since that day, year after year, I never did less than 80 transactions a year in Las Vegas.
Cool, man.
Did that for 6 years. Got picked up by the Mike Ferry Organization. Worked for him for about a year. Me and him, his company butted heads because I'm very tech forward. And if you guys know anything about Michael Ferry, he's very tech, the opposite direction. So I took the show on the road and came out to California and built what we're building now.
Great story, man. And I think that there's a very important lesson in your story, which was responsible for helping you take off, right? Which was like, you started ranting about the problems and the issues that you were facing as a real estate agent. But probably, the reason that you weren't making any sales was because you didn't tell anyone that you were a real estate agent, right?
Not just that. Not only was I not telling anybody what I was doing, I didn't know what the hell I was doing to start with. I joined a brokerage that was very, very, very boutique. Now, this brokerage is a phenomenal brokerage. Absolutely successful in their own right. For me, I didn't know who to ask, and even if I did, I didn't know what to ask. I just took a test. And anyone in real estate will tell you the test does not prepare you to be a real estate entrepreneur. The test prepares you to pass a test, and then you're on your own, right? So, I didn't know what I didn't know. And me having some kind of a sales background and being successful in my own right, I thought it would be a natural transition. I'd be great. My head was as big as this room and everything's going to be awesome. And it definitely was the complete opposite of that. So there was a giant learning curve. But once I understood what that meant and the processes, I mean, the rest of it just came with it. So it was just really understanding the dynamic between that.
Okay, so for 3 months you have been failing, right? Burning through your savings. And then, right about the end of those 3 months, you were like, you were shooting a video, ranting about all the problems that you've been having, you weren't able to have success. And then that's exactly what got you the success, right? Out of the 7 comments that you got on your post, 5 turned into like escrow. And then from there, you probably got some deals. So how did your 3 months of like, quote unquote, failing and not being able to make it work look like, man? I'm curious.
So it looked like this: me waking up whenever I decided, to wake up, going to the office, doing a couple laps, sitting on a computer for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then getting to my phone, thumbing through Facebook posts. Reels weren't really much of a thing back then. And then I would leave. And I would go leave and I'd go and have either lunch, depending on what time it was. I'd go have lunch or go meet up with a friend of mine. And then I'd go home and get ready for whatever the night was, whether it was softball that night or whether it was just a night out in the town with the fellas. That was pretty much it. That was my 3 months. I didn't know what I was doing. I told them about real estate, but with zero intention. Hey, I went to the office today. Man, it looks like they got a new coffee in there. I didn't even know what to talk about. So it was 3 months of me literally just running circles around myself. I thought if I showed up to the office and I was there, I would naturally become, a real estate agent. What I didn't understand is what I was really, or what I should have expected from the office, because I have a strong belief now that an office environment is extremely, not just necessary, but it's motivational. There's something about an energy inside of an office, right? That was not what I was thinking when I would go to the office. I didn't even have conversations with anybody. I didn't ask any questions. I said, hey, nice tie, or hey, nice shoes. That was about as deep as my conversations went with anybody. So I never really talked about real estate. I didn't ask any questions about real estate. Never asked anybody how they were doing or how they became successful or vice versa. So when I went to the office, it was with zero intent other than in my head thinking that if I show up, I'm going to be successful. And obviously that certainly wasn't the case. And I found every excuse to leave the office instead of actually stay there and do something with it.
So you didn't have well, maybe there was guidance, right? But you didn't maybe take advantage of it or ask for it, right?
Yep, I didn't seek it. Yep, I didn't seek it.
You didn't seek it. Damn, okay. And then when you made your shift, right, at the end of those 3 months, and you made your post and got some people that turned into escrow, that's what made you like realize how to actually do business, and it made you took off. So from there, what happened? Did you make those sales, and then you just like, you said that after that happened, you never made any less than 80 transactions. So how
80.
did that?
Yeah.
80? Yeah. How did that upward spiral look like, man?
Social media changed my life. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a YouTube, guru. I don't got millions of followers or things like that. And I certainly didn't have any back then. But what I understood quickly, through accident, by the way, it was not just the power of social media, but how to attract people through social media and then turn that into transactions on social media. So I didn't like to door knock. And if you're out in Las Vegas in the middle of August, I can promise you're probably not going to want to door knock either, right? I was personally uncomfortable knocking on people's doors because almost every community in Las Vegas is gated. And so it just, for me, it wasn't the most comfortable thing. And they said, well, you got to step out of your comfort zone. So I said, well, I'm going to do social farming. I'm going to do social door knocking. And I came up with an idea for myself where I was going to knock on doors, but I was going to do it digitally. And what that meant was I would go to certain neighborhoods in Instagram, utilizing locations, and I would DM the living crap out of everybody for 2 hours every single day for 365. And when we started having conversations, I found people that were thinking about real estate, that were absolutely going through the process of buying or selling, or I would start to get them to think about the advantages of buying or selling. And then all of that kind of just that pipeline over the course of nurturing took off. Coupled that with, you know, taking myself to different communities and showcasing what those communities were all about. Check out this new restaurant, check out this new strip mall, check out this new family fun center, check out this park, check out this community, check out this new housing. I was always out there. I didn't want to be at home anyway. I hate being at home. So a lot of it was just look at Las Vegas. And then the other half of it was look at me, eat food, play softball, go to the show, going to a casino, going to my friend's house. It was a lot of personal stuff too. So there's a lot of people that connected with my style and what I would do with my hobbies. And then there was a lot of people that absolutely hated me because I was I dress a certain way, I talk a certain way, and that's everybody.
Yeah.
That's everybody. We're all very unique. And so I cast a wide net and I did a lot of business with like-minded individuals, clientele, and it served me well. I never had the expectation that I had to help everybody because there's a lot of people didn't connect with me, and that was okay.
That's awesome, man. You know, so you became a local celebrity basically, right? And you got all of the people that would resonate with you to resonate with you and come to you, basically, right?
Yeah, it got to the point where I never had to actually ask for business anymore, and they weren't referrals per se. These are people that were thumbing through Facebook or Instagram,
Because they knew
Google.
you, because they have seen you out on a casino or whatever, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. You actually inspired me to go back to not being like an influencer, but like documenting my life, my lifestyle, right? The way that I live, because I'm not gonna be appealing and relate and connect with everyone, right? That's not what I'm trying to do. But
Right.
I am going to be appealing and connect to the ones that I will be appealing and connect to, right? And for the past couple of months, I've been off social media, and it's been really great, honestly. And like I've just been focusing on my
Trust
yeah,
me.
right.
Being away from social media is such a relief and a breath of fresh air. But for our business, it's a necessity. It's a necessity. It's almost like people, just like us, we crave something and we get that appetite and it's being served to us via whatever our interests are. And it's right here. I mean, it's all right here. So we can get whatever we want to satisfy our thirst all right here, but us personally being able to step away and just not having to worry about how many posts did I do today, how many videos did I shoot today, did I caption them right, did I do the right hashtags? I mean, it's a lot. And I totally understand where agents come from and like, I don't even know where to start. But like what you said, you said the key word. I've been teaching social media for real estate agents for quite some time now. And the number one question I've always been asked is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to create. And I said, well, there's your problem right there is you're trying to create.
Yeah, just be you, right?
Just document. What I say is documentation over creation.
Nice.
Right? People just, it's weird. Maybe you can't, I'm not saying you personally, but maybe you can't kind of process it. But there's something about the human connection where we just want to see the day in the life of. We want to see the ups. We want to see the downs. We want to see the things that we don't have the ability to do or see or touch or feel or taste. We want to live through those experiences and things like that. And, not to go on a rant, but what do we see that's the most highly attractive thing that gets shared or the most views? It's versions of ultimate excellence or versions of ultimate failure. We love to see one of each. Everything in the middle,
like that.
Yeah, everything in the middle is not attractive. We want to see the ultimate excellence or ultimate failures. And, you know, I go back to like American Idol. It's been around for, I don't even know how many years. It's double digits. It's been around for years. Why do people still watch it? Because we're seeing versions of absolute excellence, of talent, and then we see absolute failure. And we love that. And we can't stop watching that. So social media is no different. And because we're real estate agents, it's hard because we're talking about something that is, you know, it's all about timing. I don't care about real estate today, but I might in 4 years. So how do I get you, someone who's not even really interested, to pay attention to what I got to say? Well, you either got to do something excellent or do something really dramatic. And it goes back to where I all started, right? I went there and I said how crappy of a person, of an agent I was. I was failing. I was admitting failure, and I was mad, and I was funny about it because, you know, I had a sense of humor and it was attractive. Same thing as when someone sells a $7 million house and you can see the genuine excitement. People get excited for you.
Yeah.
And that's where the two layers lie, the two verticals.
Because it's a reflection of their own greatness, right? And I just want to mention something that, you know, ultimate excellence, it just means the ultimate excellence for you, right? So like,
Right.
because people that will resonate with your ultimate excellence will resonate with your ultimate excellence, right? So you don't gotta try to create, just document your excellences and
Right.
document your failures, right? And
Yep.
share them and be willing to share them with people. So thanks, man. You actually inspired me to go back to social media. This past couple of months, like I said, I've been really happy. Right? I've been really at peace. I've done a lot of back end work in my company, but yeah, it's time to get back. You know, like on the front end already. So and start to get back to documenting my excellence, my everyday excellence, and you know some of my failures as well. So thanks for that, man. I appreciate that. So you started doing that. You got to the point that you know people were you didn't even have to ask for business anymore. People were coming to you. You were making sales. You every single year you didn't make any less than 80 transactions. And then how long did you continue doing it by yourself until you like started to build a team?
I never built a team. I had a bunch of colleagues I would refer business to if I didn't want to take on a certain client for whatever multiple of a reason. Maybe I didn't have time, or it was in an area that I wasn't as familiar with that maybe my colleague was familiar with. I never really shied away from giving, you know, a transaction or a client to one of my colleagues, one of my friends. So obviously in this business, that's a great way to make a real good connection, is when you give somebody a client. Which again, a lot of this, it wasn't naiveness for me. It was just more the fact that I was good. I was doing exactly what I set out to do and probably a little bit more. I mean, not to sound arrogant, it's not, I apologize how that came out, but it was nice to be able to share possible clients with the industry, especially friends that I had made throughout. So I spent 6 years as an active agent, and that's when I was approached and started coaching and managing sales teams inside of real estate. And it was at that moment where I realized there was something that I could do that I was passionate about, that would achieve a lot more than just selling a house to a
Nice.
client. Yeah.
Which was coaching, right? So you started Agent Mafia?
No. So that it's a whole different journey. So coaching was exciting. I really liked coaching. I didn't realize how behind the education was for a real estate agent. And what I mean by that is, I think there's a lot of misconception out there where an agent or somebody who's worked their 9 to 5, doesn't matter where it's at, they get their license, and what they experience is a completely changing, it's a completely different landscape of how you work, right? There is no expectation. And what I mean by that is the only person that's going to be responsible now is yourself. And I think that is a very tough pill to swallow in our industry.
It is,
When you
man.
have a percentage rate of 87, and it might be even higher now, I'm not really sure, but there's an 87% fail rate in real estate. And I started to really study that, and I'm like, why? Why is it so high? I mean, that's almost 90% of people that get their license, they're out. And it's not the brokerage's fault, regardless of the name that you're with. It's not the brokerage's fault. It's not lack of people looking to buy or sell. Definitely not that.
Okay.
It's not the market that you're in. That doesn't exist to me. It all comes down to this. Everything has to come
Yeah.
down to this. You can still have passion and fail miserably, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I
For
never
sure.
say it's lack of heart, lack of passion, lack of want. It's this. We're not conditioned. And there's no school or formal training to put you in the mindset of an entrepreneur, which is what this is. It's what it takes to be successful in real estate. And you'll have the basic anomaly where you'll have someone that gets their license and they do 3 or 4 deals and they say, "No, not me. I'm great." Well, listen, that you're a one-off, you're a unicorn, and that's good for you.
Yeah.
But doctors, how many years does it take before you can practice? Lawyers, how many years before you, and then the bar is the hardest test, and then before you can even perform, you got to intern, you got to be a part of a team. Like it's a lot. For a pilot, you're not going to get your pilot's license and go drive a 747. There is formal training to be really good at that position as that. Well, real estate's no different. There's nothing out there. So you have to learn how to act, think, and perform like an entrepreneur day one, when all we've been conditioned is I have an alarm clock, you got to check in, there's expectations, I get a paycheck at the end of the week, I'm good to go, right? I don't like my paycheck. I hate having to clock in. I don't like my schedule. So what do? I'm going to go get a real estate license because I'm my own boss and I make my own hours and I can make millions of dollars. That doesn't just come because you got a license. There's a mindset behind that. And in this day and age, I need to learn how to be a real estate agent. You can go to YouTube. And you
Yeah.
can go to YouTube. You can go to networking events. You can go to masterminds and learn how to do all this stuff. You can learn the scripts, learn the sales skills. But what it's very difficult to do is being able to change your habits and your entrepreneurial mindset and spirit. Once you do that and you can accept it and then perform it, there is no way someone can stop you to be successful in this industry.
Yeah, so it's crazy how, like to be a doctor, you're going to go to school for like 10, 12 years and then practice and until you're actually able to perform and make money, right? Same thing with like an engineer, same thing with like every single degree requires years, literally, of education and training. But with like real estate or in general entrepreneurship, people expect to come in, take a course or watch a YouTube video and crush it, right? But it's
Right.
not. It's not. There's no difference. You need training. You need to develop the mindset and the skill sets. So man, so what would be some of the like key aspects of developing an entrepreneurial mindset?
It's a lot of self reflection. You got to. They kind of say it's an old cliche, but it's one that I hold near and dear to my heart. It's you are who you hang around, right? If you
Your
are
network.
not of that entrepreneurial mindset, number one is you have to self-identify and accept that role. It's not like you're attacking yourself. It's not like you're down talking or being negative. You need to know that you're not doing things like an entrepreneur would. So what do? Go hang around them. Go
Mm.
befriend them. Ask them how you can be a part of their world and just learn how they perform. You don't need to learn what they do physically, but understand their mindset. I had just talked about this on another podcast where I said, hey, entrepreneurs don't point the finger. They don't lay blame. I didn't get enough business today. And they go, let me figure out what I did that caused me not to get the outcome that I was looking to get. And they look at that and they self-reflect and they find trial and error and they fix it and they go back out and they go get it, right? It's a constant grind. A clock doesn't exist to them. They don't know what a clock is. The only time they know what a clock is when it's time for them to wake up and start to perform. You know, they always say, well, there's not enough hours in the day. Tell that to an entrepreneur. They'll just say, well, I just got to wake up earlier. That's all. They have an answer. They're ready to go. It doesn't matter what kind of personality they are. An entrepreneur finds no excuses. They just find results inside of their failure. They look at failure and never have a negative outlook on it. They go, I failed. Let me understand what I did to cause that failure. And then they fix it. And they move on to the next thing. So go back to your question, how does somebody prep for that? I think the easiest way is to go hang out with them, to go be a part of their world and see how they operate. And then, you know, you start to change your habits. You start to kind of understand how their day goes and what they do and how they think and how they act. It's very powerful once you start to be around that and become habitual with it.
Cool. So, to distill it down to like 3 action items, the way that you develop an entrepreneurial mindset is by number 1, right? Your network, right? Ask yourself, who is the people that you're surrounding yourself with? And remember the principle of you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you want to become an entrepreneur and develop an entrepreneurial mindset, well, start surrounding yourself with successful entrepreneurs, the type of people that you want to be like. 2, take massive responsibility and accountability of everything, right? Of your results, of the things that you accomplished and didn't accomplish. And then look at your failures. Number 3, reflect. You said massive reflection, right? Reflect and look at your failures as the source of the lesson that will take you to success. I love that, man.
I think there's a fourth one, and it's very important.
All right.
And it's making sure that you are able to identify why. Your why.
Identify why. Yeah, right? For sure.
Before you started recording, you gave me a 3-minute intro as to who you are, and all I heard was why you are doing what you're doing, and it's incredible. It's powerful, and that's going to continue because it's here, and you're going to do everything it takes to make sure you accomplish what you told me that the whole reason why you're doing this, right? That doesn't change for anybody else. If someone came to me and I said to the agent, hey, so tell me a little bit about why you wanted to become an agent. And they say, well, I just really want to help a lot of people. I said, well, that's bullshit. I mean, you're going to help people regardless.
Yeah.
So tell me why you want to do real estate. And I'm going to give you a kind of a materialistic answer, which to me is it's not materialistic at all. I think no negativity upon this example, because this is a real life example. After asking the same question for 7, 8 times in, I finally got this agent to break down, and she goes, I really want a Maserati. I said,
yeah, like I just want to make some fucking money. Okay.
Yeah, I said, great. Have you ever driven one? And she says, no. Have you ever sat in one? She said, no. I said, well, then how do you know you want one? She goes, well, they're the most beautiful car I've ever seen. I've seen one drive by, and anytime I see one, I just love it. I said, okay, well, let's do this. And I challenged her on a Friday. I challenged her to go over the weekend to a Maserati dealership in La Jolla and go test drive one. And she goes, oh, no, they're not going to let me do that. I said, yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. They'll let you test drive. So she did. She came back that next week on a Tuesday or Wednesday, ear to ear. I mean, the goosebumps.
You
right?
could feel the vibration, right? Yeah.
You could feel the energy that she had coming in and the excitement. And she goes, Coach, I did it. I sat in the car. I drove it. It was the greatest moment of my life. And I said, now I believe you when you say you really want to do real estate. And that's because you just now have you now have a relationship with what you want to get out of this business. You want to upgrade your lifestyle, and you got to feel it. What would it be like? what would it feel like to have what you're setting out to have? And she lost her damn mind because she was all about it. And that young lady, from that moment forward, there was nothing that was going to stop her or get in her way to go get that transaction, to go get that appointment, to go meet the right people, to put her in that vehicle that she chose was important to her. Cool. Ended that story. 2 months later, she went and got her black on black Maserati, and she still drives that to this day.
Nice, that was fast. And yeah, so she got a reason why, right? It was important for her. Like reason why it was important for her, right? So
Right.
that doesn't have to be
Everyone's
your
got
reason
their own
why.
why. Everyone's got their own
Exactly.
why. Yeah, but if you
And
don't
then-
have a relationship with it, it just becomes a thing on a piece of paper. And that's the difference. It's like, well, no, I want to send my kid to college. Okay, go tell him that. What do you mean? Go
Yeah.
tell your kid that you are going to fund he or her, his or her college. You're going to send them to UCLA or USC or Notre Dame. You're going to do that for them. Go tell them that. How old are they? Well, they're 14. Good. Go tell them that that's what you're doing for them, and then let them tell you, hey, is that still happening? Because now you got accountability. You have a relationship. You get to look at your child every day in the eye and go, maybe I need to make a couple more phone calls. Maybe I need to shoot out a couple more text messages or DMs. It
For
gives
sure.
that entrepreneurial mindset without even actually having to try.
And then a super important aspect of what you're just saying, man, right? Of getting a why and creating a relationship with your why, with the reason why you want something, you want a goal, is that once you create that relationship, so for example, right, you want a Maserati. Well, you go and drive the Maserati, you feel how it felt to
Right.
drive the Maserati. And now, like back at home, you can tap into that feeling whenever you want to. You can imagine yourself driving the Maserati and tap into the same feeling, in the same energy, in the same drive, the same motivation, and use that to like take action and go towards the things that are going to take you to that goal. Not only that, attract the things and the opportunities and the people that will make it easier.
Yeah, 100%.
So actually, man, I have something called the Modern Kings Achievement System, and it's a pretty cool system, right? It's like a productivity system, and the framework to set goals goes a little bit like this, right? So first, you get clear about the goal, what, and then you have another section that says why, right? Why do you want that goal? And then you have how, four hows, right? To get clear on not just where you are and where you want to be, but how you're gonna get there. And then I have this like mindset section that says, why can't I? Right? And the purpose for that is for you to get clear on the stories that you have right now, the beliefs that you have right now, that you unconsciously have right now that could hold you back as to why you can't, right? So you actually sit down and you write down all of the stories, all of the thoughts, all of the beliefs that start with, oh, I wouldn't be able to do this because black, or
Right.
I can't do this because black. So actually you get clear on that so that you can look at it, you can look straight at it in the face and resolve that once and for all. That's the second section. And then the third section is the goal effects, right? So when that goal becomes a reality, what are going to be the effects in your life? So for example, let's say that your goal is making $100,000. What are going to be the effects? Oh, I'm going to be able to move into a new and better apartment, right? So how is that going? So now you can get clear on how is that going to feel. Oh, I'm going to be able to help my mom. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to do that. Because sometimes we just focus on the goal and we change the goal, but we really don't know what that goal is going to bring.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like everyone wants money. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. But then when you ask them, right, okay, so I'll give you $10 million right now. What are you going to do? And they don't know. Right?
Right.
So that actually helps you get clear on the effects, right? on what you
Absolutely.
would do if you have that.
Yeah.
Which is really good because I set a goal for myself long ago, and I remember that I put helping my mother, helping my grandma, and then I just put a bunch of things, right? And that really motivated me. And then I would go over it every single day, and I would look at the goal, and I would look at why, and I would look at the action items that I needed to focus on that day, and then I would look at if I do these action items, I'm gonna get closer to the goal, and that's gonna get me closer to all of this. So
Yeah.
that made it meaningful, man. So that's great. And it's crazy, right? Like we haven't said a thing about real estate, but funny enough, like this is like what it takes to be successful in it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. This is, you asked me what's the one thing agents can do, or real, possible people that are getting into the business, or even agents that are still trying to find their way. It's the mindset part, 100%. I really truly believe that. The second part is, in today's day and age, if you are not willing to at least learn marketing, much less become a marketer, you are really going to find difficulty finding your success inside of this business. Have this conversation, 15 years ago and beyond, I would never say that. This comes down to generational communication. If you understand the generational communication, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of your competition all day long. And, a shameless plug, but that's why I decided to create and align myself with the brokerage that I decided to align myself with as an owner. I'm going to be pretty aggressive in what I'm about to say, but I have no problem with it. I mean, I play a good villain just as much as I play a hero. So I have yet to find a brokerage where their moral compass and their mission statement is really set out to truly help agents. And I don't want to lay blame on their want to do it. I think they have the intent of wanting to help agents. I think I've been a part of another company that couldn't give a shit less whether they were successful or not. It was just a rotating door to them. But other brokerages, I feel like it would be too much to say that they don't want to. I don't think they have the ability to. And what I mean by that is, if we know, you and I both know, and agents all over the country know, that if you're not on social media in some aspect, you kind of don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if the brokerage, the person or the group or the team that is saying these things don't personally have any idea on how they're doing it for themselves, how could they possibly teach you how to become successful if they're not doing it themselves? And to me, that was the biggest aha when I decided I wanted to get away from working for somebody else and follow their vision, when their vision wasn't clear and they didn't have a strong foundation on what they were going to do for agents in this new digital era, where video is king and our attention span is 5 to 11 seconds at a time. How are they able to redirect and show agents how to become wildly successful as an agent if they themselves don't know how to market their own brand? And they are kind of falling asleep on their history. Like, well, we used to be successful. We used to be the biggest. Well, that's unfortunately, that's not how it goes anymore, right? So, it comes down to the branding part and then generational communication. If I'm and it has nothing to do with age, but if I'm running the show here and I don't know how to perform DMs or PMs on a regular basis and a natural basis, and I don't know what group to tell you to go to, and all I'm going to teach you is scripts and phone calls, knowing that the normalcy of picking up the phone, if my phone rings, the normalcy of picking up the phone and saying hello falls between someone who's 56 years old and older. Well, that's this much people. The baby boomers are no longer the majority generation, are they?
No.
The Gen Xers / millennials, those teetering, but mostly Gen Xers, who I think I identify with the most, we were text messengers. We were pagers. We were YouTube people. We adopted Facebook. We adopted MySpace. Like, we're used to understanding how to communicate through a text message. That's what's comfortable for us. That's how we communicate naturally. Whereas the baby boomers, like my mom and dad, they had the corded phone, drilled into the side of the kitchen. And when anyone called, hello, we didn't know who was calling. That was during the time when someone would knock on our door, and it was probably someone we knew. Hey, come on in, we'll make you some coffee. When's the last time you got someone to knock on your door and it was someone just stopping by to say hello? We don't get that. It's like something's wrong, right? Nowadays, I probably won't answer my phone if I don't know the number.
Yeah, it's weird.
But if someone texts me, I'm going to text you back.
Instantly.
I got
For
you.
sure. Especially if it's Messenger or Instagram, right?
Millennials, they grew up with social media. They made social media the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Us Gen Xers, we were taking pictures of our food and saying what's up to our cousin. Millennials took this platform and made it what it is today, which now has become a business. I can run ads. I can become an influencer. I can create wealth for myself being, working out of a room in a closet. You could do that. And they figured that out. So how do you think they communicate? They're going to pick up a phone? Oh, they respond to DMs. Let me slide in your DM. Let me private message you.
Yeah.
Right?
So in your brokerage, you focus on teaching all of your agents on how to use social media to create deals and make money?
It's one of our verticals. It's not the sole purpose, but it's definitely one of our verticals is how to use social media to find transactions, but also how to communicate with certain segments of our society. If I know that
is that what you mean when you say generational communication?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like knowing how to communicate with the different types of generations? Is that what it means?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Listen, if I do a post, a video, and I spend all kinds of time and money and energy on a video, knowing that a baby boomer probably will never see it. But I live in a retirement community. I live
Doesn't make sense.
They're never going to see it. They're not going to communicate.
Okay.
If I send my mom a DM, it would take her 2 weeks before she saw it and opened it. But if I called her, she's going to pick up the phone.
For sure.
Now, if I send a DM to my business partner or to you, it's going to take you all of about 5 to 10 minutes, if that, to go, oh shit, I got a notification. Right?
For sure, yeah.
And then, like my son, that Gen Z, it's all done through headsets and Discord. So we have yet to see that communication
I'm
stuff.
Gen Z, man. That's crazy, right?
There you go, right? Mm-hmm. So when I talk about generational communication, I'm talking about, do you know how to communicate with your target audience? And if you don't, let me show you how. Right?
Super important, man.
We're results oriented and efficiency, not here's a script, go have fun, learn it, get your skill set up. Yeah, you need all those things, but you don't need a brokerage to get a script and to learn how to talk. You need some guidance and to open up your mind and go, wait a minute, I can become more efficient if I know I need to speak to people that are going to find their last house, their retirement home. I'm probably not going to find them on Instagram. I got to call them, right? So generational communication. Yeah.
Cool. That was a great insight, man. If I had a Bradley's, dropping bomb thing, I would have dropped it right now. So, man, let's see. We have a couple of minutes, and I do finish my interview with a couple of questions that I do want to ask and stay within the time frame. But so, what does a brokerage do, man?
Oh man, we need more time for that. A brokerage,
you mentioned
how
like you got into this business because you talked to someone who told you that there were communities that were being developed, right? So the brokerage is the one that is connected with developers, right?
No, so a brokerage is where the agents hang their license to perform, right? We take on the liability. What is our responsibility? I could tell you what it's supposed to be. I feel a brokerage is there to be the string. Oh, what happened? Oh, a brokerage is there to be a streamlined process to guide, lift, uplift, support, and help agents no matter any situation. I don't think they're getting that. And I think
Mhm.
brokerages in general are failing miserably on trying to figure out where they can help agents in a positive way that impacts them today in
Yeah.
2023. So what have I done in our brokerage is, like, we're sitting in a podcast room that I've built for agents. So agents now have the opportunity to just put their phone on, hit the red button, and now they have the environment of having their own podcast room. So I've streamlined the process to help them build their brand and their expansion of their voice of as a real estate agent. And I've got 6 other media rooms so they can, if they don't like this background, they can have their own background with their own brand. I've also built my office to make it look like a Starbucks. Why? Because clients don't want to come to a weird office where it's a bunch of cubicles and doors and it's intimidating. But if
Yeah.
it's built like a cafe and a bistro, and I've got the look and the feel with couches and TVs and popcorn machine, 5 different coffees, a Starbucks machine out here, and a fridge full of, sodas and beer and whatever, it creates an environment of relaxation to where you're going to have a very emotional conversation. There's no reason to be intimidated about it. So not only are you comfortable coming to the office, but now your clients are.
Got
And
it.
then we built a couple other things. I've got a virtual open house room. So, like, it's raining here in Corona, and the kids are upset. It's dark out, gas is expensive, it's cold, it's too hot. Well, now you can bring them to my office, or your office, right? You can bring them to your office, put some headsets on them, and walk them through 6 or 7 or 15 open houses in the comfort of a couch. They could tell you which ones they don't like and which ones they do, and they can nail down to 1 or 2 properties they like, and they can go take them to those, streamlining the process. We don't teach agents just how to do transactions, much like yourself. We focus on, yes, building your business, but then leveraging your business to invest in yourself so you can build generational wealth. There's brokerages that have like this downline, their downline program, and that's all good. Maybe it works for some people. I could tell you it doesn't work for the majority. And then they're left with this idea of passive income that never really worked out. Well, guess what? If you invest in doors, it always works out. People don't make wealth selling houses, they make wealth by buying them. So
Yeah.
we teach people how to do that at a very, very high level with little to no money out of pocket.
Awesome, man. I like that. I like that. So I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
So the first question that I want to ask you, man, to finish up this podcast is, what is a limiting belief that you see most beginner agents or investors have that holds them back?
That it's easy.
But it's easy. Okay.
That it's easy. That it's just as easy as going to work and clocking in and clocking out. Like, if I put in 8 hours, I should see a result.
Mm,
That couldn't be the furthest from the truth. This takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of energy, and instead of it sounding so negative, if you've got passion and the why, man, it could be easy. It could be simple.
So what it actually takes to be successful is underrated. Then, yeah, for sure, I've
Yeah.
seen that as well. The next question, man, is, knowing what you know now, Chris, what advice would you give yourself at the beginning of your journey to help you have faster, easier, and a smoother success? And smoother success.
Branding all day long.
Brandon.
If I would have known the power of, like, look at, you're never ever going to see me wear Versace, Gucci, Fendi, Nike. You want to know why? They already have their brands. They got me. I wear their
Yeah.
belts. I wear their shoes. I got it all. I have all the shit, but that's their brand. This is my brand. This is what's
Yeah.
important to me. This is what generates income.
And this
So
is
I
mine.
absolutely want you to know my brand. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is mine, and you're never going to forget that I was sitting on a throne, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
literally
So
living
branding,
it.
the power of
Cool.
branding and consistency with that. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And the last question is, networking, relationships, surrounding yourself with high-level people is key, right? So what advice do you have on networking and relationships?
Get out there, man. Get out there, start shaking hands. Find out who has what you want. Find out who lives the lifestyle that you one day want to live, and ask them what you can do for them. I mean, again, how many times have we heard that on some reel or some Instagram post? If it wasn't true, I wouldn't be telling you to do it. Like, go find that person who's got the things that you want or lives the lifestyle that you want, and ask them what you can do for them. Because those kind of people, the only questions they get asked is, can I have, can I take, can you give me? They're not receptive to that. So instead, go ask them what you can deliver to them, and get inside of their world, create that network, start handshaking. Never turn down an opportunity to meet somebody like you and I connected.
Yeah, exactly. So actually call that the cloak track principle. So there's nothing that you could ever want to be, do, or have that someone else already has that, is that type of person, or is doing the type of thing. And the fastest way for you to get there is just to connect with people who are already there, who either are the type of person, do the type of thing, or have the type of life. So yeah, man, that was a great advice. So man, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, maybe to become, for some of your coaching, for some of your content, to become an agent or whatever, where would be the best place for them to get in contact with you or learn more about your stuff?
Instagram @TheTurnedUpCoach. My brokerage is Big Block Realty Executives. We're based out of Corona. There's my shameless plug. We're based out of Corona. We've got all of Riverside County, Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego. I'm partnered with the flagship out of San Diego. We're all over the place. But if you want to just connect with me and chop it up, @TheTurnedUpCoach, and I always answer my own DMs. So you're always getting me.
Got it. Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you later.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for listening to the Modern Real Estate Investor Podcast. We want you to know that we love and appreciate you, and we are super grateful about being part of your journey of becoming a successful real estate entrepreneur and having it all. Please share this episode with a friend who you think will be impacted positively. Send it to someone who you know is interested in real estate and dreams of having it all and being the best they can be across all areas. And if you thought this episode was really valuable, share it on your social media as a post or a story. We have a special gift for all of those who contribute to the Modern Kings and Queens movement. So for those of you who decided to share this episode and help us spread our message, send me a message letting me know on any social media platform @Alex Ramirez, the Modern King. I have a special surprise for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.